We are in the home of John L. Pope Sr. and the late Mrs. Jorene Pope. John is better known as Johnny or Uncle Johnny. And we're here to just record a video memoir of his memories and his life. And before we get started with the interview portion, I just wanted to acknowledge that today is actually John and Jorene's wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
What year would this have been?
Let's see. We're going to 1960. So what's that?
60.
Ooh.
You were married in 1960?
61.
61.
Yeah. So 40 is 2000. And this is, I think, 60. Gosh. So long, I forgot.
Yeah, okay, well, at least we have the year they were married, 1961, right?
Yeah.
I'm not very that good at math either, but we can figure that out later. So, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
My dear Uncle Johnny. So we definitely wanted to definitely start with acknowledging that milestone, that important date in his history, and definitely remembering our beloved Aunt Jorene.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Let me get out.
All righty. Congratulations. All right. Now, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Give up the chairs, Mom. Go ahead.
Yeah.
How many carrots?
Two on that side, two on that side, one in the center. Now we didn't toast each other. So now we can toast. Da-da.
To the newlyweds! Again!
Can you pass the ring around so we can see it?
No!
I'll make sure it gets back.
I'll bring it around.
You gotta put your hands together so I can put the ring. Leave it on there.
I gotta get the other ones off.
Hey, Jorene, you want me to hold your old ring?
No. Hey, this is one of them. This is my 25th. There, just like that.
You understand? You got one.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that right? Did you know that was
Wonderful. 2 and 3. That's
Give me one more, Derek.
Do you want to take your glasses off or no? You don't want to take your glasses off?
2 and
I'm going to tickle it and make it good.
So, I don't necessarily have any structured questions, but this is just an opportunity for us to kind of get an overview of your life. I will ask some general questions, and it's kind of just meant to be just a natural discussion between us, so whatever comes up, from your childhood to now.
But in that case, if it's general questions, I can answer general questions with the general answer. I hope.
All right. Yeah, nothing messy about just family memoir. We've done
I
one with
wouldn't
the
expose.
siblings all together. You wouldn't expose
I
us.
wouldn't expose that.
We've done one with all of the siblings, and we have done an individual one with Uncle Red, so you're next up.
All right.
And we are just so thankful that you are here to record this with us. And before we get into the back history, I don't know if you would like to, you've had a difficult 2020. So I don't know if you would like to mention anything about your recent challenges and victories over the last year.
Oh, it bears repeating, I think, mentioning anyways. I thought I was Mr. Health, you know, and all of a sudden, my right leg started to have poor circulation, so I had to have a bypass, which they call a peripheral vascular disease. And so I had a had a bypass. First try was not successful, so the doctor had to go in and do another bypass. And while under the surgery, it took her 7.5 hours to do the surgery. And supposedly it was successful. But a short time after that, I had vascular disease. And on top of that, I had I had, this is going on almost simultaneously. But then I had lung disease. So all of those compounded on everything I went through. I was out of it for quite a while. It started in March 13, 2020, and I'm still not totally recuperated, so I'm still fighting it, but I'm getting stronger every day, but just a small amount of recouping every day, but I'm on my way and I'll be there soon. Okay, so basically that's it right now.
Okay, all right. Thank you for bringing us up to date. And again, we are thankful that you are doing as well as you are today, especially considering how unwell you were not too long ago.
Absolutely, thank you.
I'll also mention, for the record, I don't know if you have ever grown a beard. This is the first time I've seen you with one, but this is a new development from 2020, and boy, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I just love it. I love it. It's working for you. It is working.
It's the
First time you've worn a beard?
Yeah.
And how many years? How old are you?
84.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Getting more handsomer and handsomer as the days and years go by.
Okay, thank you now.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's go back a little bit to your childhood. What can you tell us about where you grew up and how you grew up?
Okay. I can remember growing up in a little town back in Louisiana, east of Dallas, Texas, going east. And this little town called Ringgold. And I remember that pretty vividly after, getting up into past my 10, 12, up into my teens. And that's where I started school and graduated high school there, that little town. Meanwhile, we did, as most families in our category did, was do a little sharecropping. And if it wasn't sharecropping, it was just going out working, trying to make ends meet. And you put a tail on that question again. But
where you grew up and how. Basically, you
Okay,
answered that,
yeah.
where and what you, you
Yeah.
know, what type of activities you did as a child as far as school and work. What can you tell us about what type of child were you?
I was a little quiet, bashful. Didn't get in any trouble. Because I was, punishment was pretty harsh if we screwed up. And I made sure that I didn't screw up. I'm telling you, because the punishment, I'll tell you, it would make you not want to repeat
Okay.
the incident that got you your little hind spanks.
Mm-hmm.
And That was
Like mom or dad or both?
Oh, basically, Dad, Mom would prep you for this fantastic whipping you were gonna get.
She did the talking,
Yeah.
leading you up to the fantastic whoops.
Like, excuse me.
Take your time.
She didn't have a long speech. Her basic speech was, you wait till your dad get home, and that would be it, you know,
Okay.
because she knew she was going to tell him, and he was going to follow up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what are your, besides your dad being a disciplinarian, what else can you tell us about him?
Oh, he was a devout Christian man, and he was deacon at church, and he participated almost every Sunday, and he would take us to church with him, the whole family. He wouldn't leave you out unless you were late getting dressed, and he'd go like, I gotta be there for Sunday school or whatever, and if you weren't ready, he'd go. Next thing you know, Mama, Daddy just left us. He told you to be ready. So that kind of guy. But other than that, he was, I think, a very fair guy. He was recognized in the little town that we lived in. Most of my teenage years that I was there, that he was there, he worked, he was a carpenter, and he had multiple talents, and he would go out of town to work, and he'd be gone for sometimes weeks at a time, and we'd be sitting around, and then we'd get the word, his daddy's coming home, and he'd be sitting out on the front porch waiting, and you see a little truck coming, well, here come Daddy, and he'd come home, and we just enjoy the heck out of him, and he's a very, very good guy, I think, very Superman. Didn't get to spend much time with him because he was always out trying to make ends meet for the family. But when he come home, we'd enjoy him as much as we could.
There's another question in my mind about him. His personality. All of you and your siblings have very keen sense of humor. Did that come from your dad or your mom or both?
I think it came from Mom. The daddy he did have a sense of humor, but Mom kept us laughing all the time. You know, she would just, sometimes he would just out of nowhere just say something funny, and we'd all bust the gut on it, you know, laugh. But Dad, when he come home, I think he was more interested in Mama than he was us.
Yeah, understood.
But he had his moments too, when he come to being funny and telling little jokes and having little playthings with the children. He was cool with that.
Other than working and being a provider and a deacon in the church, were there any recreational activities that he was involved in, pastimes that he enjoyed outside of work in church?
No, the only thing I can say is that when there was multiple families getting together, like for a celebration, then we would play a little baseball and stuff like that. But other than that, he wasn't that that much engaged in sports that I know of. No.
What about musically inclined?
Very, very, very musically inclined. He would hit, like every year in the little parish that we lived in, he would be kind of like the preparator for the group that he would teach to participate once a year in a what did you call it, convention, I guess you would call it. And he would teach the shape notes, not like the music was printed today. Those notes were A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, were square notes and round notes. And he would teach the notes, and I was asking either Reg or Tansel, how did Dad learn, where did Dad learn it? You know, that music. Where did he get that talent from? And they couldn't answer. And say, well, they did answer in a way they came from up above, but no walking human being that they know of could taught him that. So maybe it was self-taught.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but he was awesome at teaching music.
Teaching shape music.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Is there an artist that you could compare his singing voice to that you would say is similar to? 'Cause I've never heard. I didn't have the opportunity to meet him or know him or hear him. I was wondering if there's anybody he sounds like as far as singing.
Let me see. Never thought about that before. I can't really compare because I never thought about it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. All right. What type of things did you enjoy doing as a child?
Playing ball, sports, mostly sports was my thing. I liked basketball basically, and played a little softball around school when we'd have recess or lunchtime. On the school campus, we would all gather, play softball and a little basketball. That was it. It was a very small rural school, so there was not much activity you could do other than be on the school campus. So that was, and then on weekend, maybe a bunch of guys would get together and have a little sports, but it wasn't anything huge that you could, just put your finger on and say, this is huge for the weekend, so we're going to do this and that. And then we're just friends, playing with friends, having little sports game, stuff like that.
Which family members did you grow up being closest with as far as in your age group? Cousins.
Oh, cousins. Oh, Lucy's and Lucy's Pope and Yvonne Stafford. We were pretty close guys, and Ray Crawford and those guys, and I was pretty close with Grady B. Bradley, and these are all first cousins, and we had a lot of fun together.
Grady B. Bradley would be whose son?
That's A&T,
Okay.
A&T's son. Yeah.
Um, Did you, I know that a lot of families in that day and age had to, because of the number of children that they had and the responsibilities that they had trying to raise and provide for their children, kind of had some of their children sometimes stay with other family members, or other family members help to raise them. Did that occur in your family? And if so, who would have been involved in helping to raise you all?
Well, I know A&T, that's the only one I know of that we stayed with, like, for a period of time. Like over, not with like, go and spend the night, go home. We were there for some time, quite a while. But other than A&T, that's the only one that I know of.
And A&T was your father's sister?
Yes.
Okay. And just for the record, we haven't mentioned your dad's name, John Oliver Pope.
Yeah.
Who was more commonly known as Oliver, or O.L.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I found it interesting when I went to the cemetery and saw his gravesite that is marked O.L. Pope. Yeah. Do you have any idea how that came about, or?
I really don't. Matter of fact, it was about that time that I found out his first name was John. You know, but I guess it's just O.L. for Oliver.
For Oliver.
Yeah.
What fond memories do you have as a child of your mother?
Oh goodness. She was an awesome lady. I mean, she took us kids under her wings after Dad left. Well, she had us under her wings before he passed away. But after, she just took us all together, 5 of us. And she just, I didn't see any change in her disciplinary way of raising us. And she never gave up, and she still had that authority. When she tell you something, you do it. And we were pretty respectful to Mom, and that way we never, well, I never talked back and argued with her or anything. If she said jump up, I would jump. And the rest of us would too. We would just respected her, and she respected us as her children. Her children, she never. I never saw her do any, anything that's out of the ordinary as a Christian lady. And yeah, she's wonderful, wonderful lady.
Was she a singer also?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Soprano, alto, do you remember?
I think she was soprano.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a few photographs of her singing when we were all, the family was together singing. And she was sitting right there in front,
Okay, let's talk about Johnny after high school. What was Johnny Pope like in his, immediately after high school?
Yeah.
He ran in his 20s.
Well, was it 19? Yeah. A principal there at Ringgold High School. He made reservations for me to go to Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So, hesitantly I went, and my mom was on my backside to go because she wanted me to go. So I went. That was my first excursion out of high school. And I went down for a semester and a half, 2 semesters, I guess. It's been so long. Then I came home on break and told Mom I'm not going back. Well, I told the dean before I left, I'm not coming back, and he goes, why? And I said, well, I can't keep up, because I was carrying 15 units, which was required to be on the work program. And after classes, I'd go to lunch, and then I worked at 10 o'clock at night. Then I had to study, and I just couldn't keep up because lights had to be out at 11, I think it was. So I said, I'm not going back. So she wished that I would, but I go, nah. So I went to work with Roy, my sister's husband, Verba. He was, they had property about 11, 12 miles away from where we were living at the time. So he was doing pulpwood, so I went to work with him for a short time. And then my cousin came from Kansas City, Lucius, not Lucius, but Ray and Yvonne Stafford. They came to Ringgold for Christmas, and Ray says, "You wanna go back home with me, boy?" And I go like, "Yeah, boy." So I went to Kansas City, stayed there for a year. Went to about 3 different jobs, make ends meet. It was okay. And then I came home for Christmas again a year later, and then Reg and Lennon were there for Christmas from California. So when they got ready to go back to California, Reg says, "Well, you want to go back to California with me?" I go like, "Huh?" He said, "Well, as long as you're going to be away from home, you might as well come on and go with me." I go like, "Yeah." So then I came to California, and that's where I ended up at. California, that's where I was.
And what did you do when you got to California?
I hooked up with my cousin again. This one was on the nose side. They lived down further from where we were when we lived in Shreveport. I lived in Ringgold, rather. And one of the noses was his name was Wilma. I think it's Wilma, and they called him Boots. He had a service station, so he hired me to pump gas and fix tires and do the tires work. So I went to work with him, and I worked with him for a while. And then his brother worked at a chemical company downtown LA. So I met up with him. He got me a job at the chemical company. So I worked at the chemical company until 1960. Yeah. And then I was inducted into the Army. And bye California for a while. Yeah.
Was that a voluntary?
No, I was
you were drafted?
drafted, yeah.
1960.
And
Okay. And where did that take you?
that took me to Fort Ord, California, which is up around, up in the northern California. There's a town there, I can't go. But anyways, it's up northern California, up closer to Oakland, I think. And then from there, after I finished my basic training, I went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona, to continue my training in the communication field. And then after finishing it there, I went back to Fort Ord, and the sergeant told me that I would spend the rest of my tour of duty there at Fort Ord. Lo and behold, I was a company in Arizona that needed some troops in the electronic field. So they picked me to go there. And I had about 6 months to go with my tour of duty before I was discharged. But they sent me there anyways. And so I did okay there. And then 2 months before my discharge, I was extended 2 months, 3 months actually, because they wanted my company, which was the 93rd Signal Battalion, to go to Germany to fill in there. So the sergeant says, "Pope, you've been extended again, so you're going to go to Germany." So there I go, like I had a choice, right? And I was over there from November till March, and film tour of duty. They offered me another strike with a raise in salary. I go like, no, I got a wife now because I got married when I was in Arizona. And I said, nope, got a wife, gotta go home. So I hit the old ship 9 days later on the sea for 9 days. Made it back home, which it took 9 days to get there anyway. But the initial going to Germany, excuse me, took 9 days sailing on the water, and then 9 days coming back. And I was happy. Yeah.
Did you enjoy your time in the service at all? Anything about it?
Nah, it's simply the only reason why is because I didn't have any say-so in it.
Right.
And, you know, I think that's the only reason. Otherwise, it was a good discipline program, and I would encourage any young man that haven't really made up their mind what they want to do. That would be a good starting point. The military is really good.
So the full time of your service was what, 2 years?
2 years and 3 months.
Well, that must have been an experience going from Ringgold to Germany.
Oh, I'm telling you. And well, being of the black race, the Germans treated us black people in the service better than the Americans did while we were over there.
Wow.
And they were our comrades, our buddies, we slept in the same barracks and ate at the same tables and all of that, but the Germans just like, camarada, they just make friends with us,
Wow.
and it was pretty good.
Where did you meet Jorene?
When
Where?
in church,
In
Paradise.
it was out
Yeah.
here, and I didn't know. Did she grow up in Ringgold?
No,
Okay.
no, she's a native California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old Paradise, huh?
Yeah. Paradise. AJ Iverson.
Yeah. Where most of us started our spiritual memberships in California.
Yeah, that's
Were you, did you serve at Paradise at all? In
in the choir.
In the choir?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I think you all had your own group.
That's where I met Jorene,
That's when you
in the
met?
choir.
In the choir. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we formed a group called the Pope Brothers. And it was Reginald, Tansel, Leonard, myself. And then one of the deacons was Simpson, last name Simpson. And he was a bass, and real good bass. So he joined up with us. He said, I don't care what, I'm gonna be a pope too. So he joined up with the Pope, and we did little outings here and there. But we carried a pretty good tune. Yeah.
And did you all just sing at other churches or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a few outings where we had a afternoon program, you know, go over and do maybe 5, 6, 7 songs. And take up a collection and do 3, 4 more songs. Yeah, it was nice, very nice.
Tell me about your impression of California when you first came here.
Oh, goodness. Well, I thought I was on the other side of the world. I mean, gee whiz. All the lights and all of the space and the houses. And, oh, goodness. This is where I want to be. Thank you, Reg. You know? And so.
Where did you live? Do you remember where you first
Mhm.
Where was that?
Lived on Wall Street. Can't remember the address, but trying to guess across street. I think around San Pedro, I think it is. Yeah, San Pedro, close to Wall Street, and lived with Uncle Milt. Reg and Leonard, they already had established an apartment, so they moved with me in, and I took the slider bed, come from under the wall. That was my little place.
And I was early 20s?
Yeah. Let's see, I came out here in 20. Yeah, because I wasn't 21 yet. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now let's move forward to you being married and starting your family. Tell us about that experience, that journey.
Well, first of all, Jorene and I were still real close, and we communicated back and forth by phone and by letter. So when I got ready to go overseas, I go like, I'm gonna take this opportunity to not lose her, per se. So I'm gonna ask her to marry me. So I was stationed in Arizona at the time. So I got a weekend leave to come home. She picked me up at the airport, and she picked me up. She was driving. No, yeah, she drove her dad's car, and then after she picked me up, she got under the wheel and let me drive. So I hit the freeway, and I passed up Manchester, which normally would turn on to go to her house. She goes like, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to surprise you." She goes like, "Where you going?" I said, "Well, if you need to know, I'm going to get you a ring." "For what?" I said, "So you can marry me." So we said, "What, you getting married?" She goes like, "You haven't asked me yet." Then I go like, "Oh, you're right. Will you marry me?" Yeah. She said, "John, this is not the way to do it." I said, "I don't have much time." So she says, "Go ahead." So we go downtown and pick out a ring, come back, drop off. I didn't have the nerve to ask her parents at the time. So I go like, "We do this." Alright, so she says, "You haven't asked me yet." So I go like, "Will you marry me?" She goes like, "Okay, but you have to talk to my parents." I go like, "Yeah, I know that." So came. This was like on a Friday, I think. And on that Saturday, I went over and visited, and I go like, "Okay." She go like, "You gotta talk to my parents." I was so nervous. I go like, "Can we wait another day?" And so she says, "No, because you're getting out of here tomorrow, so you gotta get it now." So I asked, and they didn't say yes right away. He was, yeah, "Let us think about it." That's what Dad said. "Let us think about it." They go like, "Okay, well, I got that part out of the way." So anyways, that Sunday he goes, "We didn't want to say yes right away because we didn't want you to think we were trying to get rid of her." I go like, "Alright, cool, that's cool. That's cool." So he said, "Yeah." So I said, "Okay, you got the ring? That means you're mine, girl. You stay here till I get back, alright?" So that's when I went back to Arizona, and then shortly over to Germany. Yeah. And that was it on that part. Came back and she set up everything. And January 1, 1961, we got married, and I think she set it up at 1 o'clock. I'm not sure. 111. Yeah, but
At Paradise?
yeah,
Okay.
that's when it was on Compton.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't realize there was another home for Paradise.
Oh,
It
yeah.
started in Compton. Okay.
yeah. I forget the cross street, but yeah, they were there for a long time. Matter of fact, I think after the Paradise was established, I think that was the first home church there in Compton. It was 40-something. I think it was like 48 to 49 in Compton, or something like that. Not sure, but I know it's on Compton. Yeah. Okay. So we get married. And I go back to Arizona. She stays home. And I think the next month I get this letter. Surprise, I'm pregnant. I go like, "Oh man, here I go. Family man." So that went good. She wanted to come to Germany because A couple months later, after I sent the letter notes that I was going to Germany, I got a leave for 2 weeks to go spend with her before they shipped me overseas. So she wanted to go real bad. Her daddy said no. No. She said yeah, he said no. So she finally succumbed to his wishes. Said, okay, Daddy knows best. So I was glad anyways, because I didn't want to, I just didn't know how safe it would be over there. And so that was the name of that game. And needless to say, I had spent some time with her before she gave birth to, because my tour over there was only 3 months. Before she gave birth, I came back and I was discharged March, and Johnny was born in March. So it'd been a time in space where I think what happened was I came home, and before I left Arizona, I came home, and then when I left, I think she was pregnant, because when I came back again, she was pregnant. And then, so that tallied up to about 6 months. So, anyways, I came back and I came home like March 13 or something like that. March 13, March 14. She gave birth March 28th. So I'm home. I'm home. Yeah. So that was the end of the first episode about becoming parents. Yeah.
Where was your first home as a husband and wife in California?
I was at over there in Inglewood at 9113 Van, South Van Ness in Inglewood. Yes, yeah. $122,000. No, it was $22,000. 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Okay. And that house is so pretty now when I pass by. I go, whoa. Yeah.
And then after your first child, how long before your second child? And what was happening in your family life at that time?
5 years later, second child, we had settled down at the house we bought in Inglewood, the first house, and from the chemical plant that I was working with my cousin, Herschel, and going to Paradise Baptist Church. There was a deacon named Arnold, and he was a supervisor at one of the newer universities in Southern California, which was Cal State Fullerton. I think it was called Orange Coast Fullerton, man, something like that. But anyway, he was a supervisor there, and he asked if anybody needed a job. And Jorene go like, yeah, John does. And so I wasn't there, but she told him, Mr. Daniel said, we have a job for you. So they're like, okay. So I talked with him, and he hired me on the spot without filling out an application or anything. He said, come to work Monday. So I did. I got the job there, and But 2 years later, Jorene goes, I think I want a job out there, you know, because he was working at the time, I think at Cal State Hills, I think it was. So she could make a transfer straight from one university to the other. So she did. Now we're ride sharing together, going to work back and forth. So we both worked at Cal State Fullerton, and which was a nice thing to be able to, you know, have the same schedule and share the same car, they get the same gas, you know, it was nice.
I want to backtrack a little bit to when you first came to California, or even when you first went to Kansas. Going from Ringgold and living on your own as an adult and working, was there any particular family member who helped you, like with your finances, to you know, learn the ropes of responsible financing?
Yeah, well, my dad, he kind of started off, as I could about just vaguely remember. He would talk about, you know, how he had to, there was 8 of us, and he was one single guy working to feed and maintain a family of 10, you know, so he would kind of like, you know, spread his knowledge as to what it took for him to take care of us and that kind of thing. And then when I went to Kansas, my Uncle Doyle, which was, I stayed with him, and that's my mom's brother, and he, as I was jumping around from job to job, he kind of like enlightened me as to what it meant to find something steady. And you know, if you have something you don't like, work to get up from under it. But once you get up from under it, you stay steadfast and build yourself up in the company. And that meant a lot. And I put that to practice. And it really worked out pretty good. And then there was Reg, my brother Reg. He was very instrumental into me, you know, doing my homework when it comes to you spending your money and spending it wisely. He was very instrumental into me. Yeah.
What were the most joyous, fulfilling times of your life?
At any age period or?
Yes. I mean, it could be more than
Wow. Are we? One was graduating high school.
Okay.
I was so glad to get out of there.
And that was Ringgold Colored High School, right?
Right.
Okay.
They did not forget that. And guess who's coming to California, I think, when I came to California with Reg and Leonard. That was like, free at last. Yeah. And then having 2 grandkids, that was just so awesome. I wouldn't say that if Catherine was here. Oh, that's Ali.
That's Ali.
Yeah.
So state your grandchildren's name for the record. We have Holly and
Ali Angela.
Holly Angela.
Yeah.
And
And Catherine Irene.
Catherine Irene.
Yeah.
Last name Pope. Johnny Jr.'s children.
You got that. That's it. Yeah. And they're wonderful. They're wonderful.
Yes, I agree.
Mm.
Are there any sad, tragic, or difficult times that you care to share? Such as, and these are just examples, losing a loved one, a job, or something you cared about.
Oh, yeah. My dad first. That was the hardest.
How old were you at that time?
Unexpected. Let's see. $16.
You were 16? Yeah. You said it was unexpected.
Well, we didn't, they kind of like kept his condition from us.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know he was really that sick. That was it. That was the first big one. Then Bishop, with his accident, unexpectedly, that was the next saddest. And then of course Mom, that was the big one. That was the big blow. So, you know, the sad point times got involved around family, you know. And there were some cousins that really hit me hard. And a couple of friends that I thought were my friends who were not. But let's just go like, in the hands of God, so I'm done with you. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
What lifelong lessons would you say you learned from these tough times?
Just be yourself, number one, and be truthful as you possibly can, and do unto others as you like them to do to you. Follow all of the rules of the Bible that you can, and love thy neighbor as thyself, and all of those good ones. It's just like, I try to stay as close to those as possible. Not, I know I can't do it verbatim, just like every day, but sometime I'll slip up and go like some people. I'll just go, what are you thinking? You ought to get off your aspiration and do something about it, you know? But other than that, yeah.
If you could do one thing differently in your life, what would that be?
think it would be to get a master's degree from a university somewhere. I think.
And finally, what are you most grateful for in your life?
Ooh, family. Family. We are family. Family. You can't be family no matter how much you eat. You can't be family. Yeah, I just love my family. It's such, oof. I think my family is one of the reasons I'm still here, along with a lot of good friends and church members and all praying for me. But you guys have been so wonderful just because I was down and out, I'm telling you. God put me through this, whatever this thing is, and why He let me have to go through this. I won't know one day, but I'm okay with it. He took care of me, and He's still doing it, so I am grateful. Family. Yes.
And your family is grateful for you too. I'm sure I speak for all of us. And you have inspired us with how you pushed through this challenge and maintained your sense of humor and your wit and has been as upbeat as you can, even at your worst moments. So
I got you.
You have inspired us and encouraged us, and we love you.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're so awesome.
And thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time today. So finally, because we don't want to miss anybody in your immediate family, we are all quite fond of your daughter-in-law as well, Miss Roxanne. Is it Gisselpope?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say a few words about her, if you will.
Oh, Roxanne. You hear the song, the new song about Roxanne?
The new one?
Roxanne!
Oh, yeah.
I tease her about that.
Yeah.
But she brings a lot of joy and happiness. And she's very jovial. She likes, but she's very busy, but in a good way. And yeah, I like her a lot. I like her a lot. Then she has given this family 2 beautiful daughters, granddaughters, and I wouldn't trade them for a bean dip. They're awesome. Yes, indeed.
And I also just wanted to state for the record too, you didn't mention your mom's name, Willie Ola Crawford Pope.
Right.
I want to make sure we don't miss any names. So
Exactly.
we talked about a few people, we didn't mention them by name, so I wanted to get that on the record.
All right.
This is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. My dad has been through my ups and my downs, my worst times and my best times, and he's always been my supporter. He's always had my back. He never lets me down. He was a disciplinary, I'll give him that. I didn't screw up. I had my times when I did, when I was by myself, but when I was a kid, growing up through high school and college, this man, this wonderful man, amazing man, saw me through it, even when teachers would say certain things about me when I was in grade school, he would always just be there for me, no matter what. He would just stand up for me no matter what. And there's not many dads that would do that. We'd go to a teacher and say, you're the one that has the problem, not her. And he's amazing. In fact, I was talking to my cousin Denise Shaka last night, or this morning, and she said directly to me, she goes, you know what I'm jealous of? I go, what? She goes, I wish your dad was my dad. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I go, thank you. She goes, no, your dad is the most amazing person. She's like, you know, my dad had issues, but your dad never let you down. She goes, and I wanted growing up for your dad to be my dad. She goes, I miss my dad a lot, but Shaka said, I wanted your dad to be my dad. And we started crying, and I was like, that's amazing. I go, and I'm grateful to God for putting this man as my father. No one could be a better father in the whole wide world than this man. And people are jealous of our relationship. People always say, you know, how can you have such an amazing relationship with your father? And I just say, we get each other. I understand him, he understands me. And it's just easy. We have an easy time getting together. We have times when we argue, and that's okay, because we need to. But for the most part, after we argue, we go our separate ways, we think about it, and then we come back and we say, and we have a solution, and we talk about it and say, I'm sorry, or I'll do better, or I'll work on it. And he'll do the same thing, I'll work on it. And not many fathers do that. They just say, whatever, and walk away. But this amazing person in my life, he knows what to say, when to say, and how to say.
Holly and Catherine, can you guys come into the frame? You're sitting next to your granddad.
Come into the frame and don't touch a thing.
Well, I can't get my big butt up.
No, you're okay.
Okay, I can stay. Hi. Okay, you guys have anything you want to say or ask, or we're ending our little formal interview here, so anything you want to say to him, about him, for the record, we would love to hear it.
He's always got some funny tidbits to say. Always wants bags of $100 bills.
Hey,
He's a very good dancer. He doesn't know that.
That's true.
He does a little boogie every once in a while, don't you, girl?
oh, tell me about it. I'm serious.
Always fiddling with the piano.
Yes. Very good singer.
Very good singer.
Very good singer.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Mary,
What
did
is-
you know? I think about that song all the time.
Yeah.
Such a good one.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Great grandpa.
If I had the breath, I'd try it for you,
Oh, yeah?
but I can't do it.
That's okay.
Give sight to a blind man. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will calm your storm with his hand? Did you know young will speak, all will give praises to the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nation? You know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb. This sleeping child you're holding is the
Just an amazing person when they look at happy in my life.
Oh,
No, I think.
and I love you. Both of you. Both of you. All right.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Uncle Johnny. Happy birthday to
Come on, get that breath. Huff and puff.
Yay! Oh, star? I can't see anybody. Okay.
Are they home?
Yay!